heard of you from ZANU-PF representative there, but somebody who's been concerned is our former public protector, Advocate Thuli Madonsela, founder of the Thuma Foundation. Advocate, I believe you are with us now. Did you have a chance to hear what a ZANU-PF representative is saying? Any comments?
Yes, I did have an opportunity to listen. I just find it strange and quite frankly unacceptable that by simply voicing disagreement with the way government does things, people have to be arrested and then it will take a court of law to decide whether they're guilty or not. That's not what the rule of law requires. You have to have reasonable belief that a person has committed a crime and before you can arrest them, because this is intimidation.
Advocate, continue. We can hear you.
I think for me, I consider it intimidation, and
yes,
people might want to know why, as a South African, this bothers me. It bothers me because we're in the same boat. There's one African continent. If the Zimbabwe ecosystem is not working, the Zimbabwean people will need a home. And immigration is a good thing. We all like the whole notion of being global citizens. But forced immigration is never a good thing. And therefore, it has always been our quest as this country, even during my time as a public protector under the IOMA, to make sure that the entire continent is functional, that democracy is respected, that shared values of the African Union, including the convention around democracy and elections, are respected.
Yeah. Often people say, why don't the people of Zimbabwe themselves rise up and change things for themselves? That would be very difficult in the face of claims of the sort of suppression that they're facing. So does this call for a real role for South Africa, for SADC and the AU, as you say?
Well, certainly. But the people of Zimbabwe are rising up. They wouldn't be in jail if they were not raising their voices about what they consider to be inappropriate. And I think instead of government jailing them, government should have decent conversations with the opposition. It may well be that there's a misunderstanding with different approaches to how the country should be run. But just set up a round table and have conversations with the opposition. And when it comes to journalists, set up a media briefing. But what I've seen, to me at this stage, looks like intimidation.
Yeah, certainly that's what human rights groups are saying as well. So again, what is the role of South Africa here? We spoke to a ZANU-PF representative who said South Africa was part of the inquiry after that live ammunition was used against demonstrators and doesn't seem to be too concerned following those probes. Have we sat back? Have we, as a country, as a region, allowed this to go on in Zimbabwe by not acting sooner?
Well, certainly. And I'm not suggesting that South Africa should act alone as Big Brother. That might be problematic. And therefore, I was approaching the president as the current chairperson of the African Union. If this was happening in ECOWAS, they would long have had a meeting where President Mnangagwa is being asked to explain what's happening. At the very least, he needs to be asked to explain what's happening. And then some people on Twitter were saying, I'm asking the president to interfere in the operations of the law enforcement agencies. No, he won't be interfering because the very fact that these people are being arrested is because they are being said to be saying negative things about government, and therefore government is involved. This is not ordinary crime.
All right. So just to clarify, at the very least, you're saying our president and other regional leaders should just ask for some sort of explanation from the president of Zimbabwe. That's
yes,
the very
not,
least.
Not over the telephone. They should have a meeting, even if it's a Zoom meeting, properly and present these cases as they are. And certainly if the president of Zimbabwe gives the kind of explanation that was given by the colleague who spoke just before me, these leaders should not accept it. And I remember when I was still the public protector, when something like this, when things went wrong in one of the countries in West Africa, the leaders got together and they went there and they asked the president to resign. I think it was President Kampora. They asked him very nicely to resign, and I'm not suggesting they should ask the president of Zimbabwe to resign, but they can ask him to desist. They can ask him to stop making this region and this continent to be unstable, especially at a time like this when our people are going through a difficult time because of COVID-19. To add to this, the harassment of their people is improper.
Well, let's end there. Because of COVID-19, are you worried that there could be more abuse across African countries? We're hearing of more terrorist activities in one of our neighbors, maybe as the world and all the countries are inwardly focused on their health crisis. Is there scope for more abuse?
Absolutely. In fact, we just, as Thuma, find a global democracy safe democracy petition that is saying, whilst we're all concerned about COVID-19, but there are governments that are using this opportunity to abuse power and to undermine democracy, and therefore we do need to be on the watch out. And what's happening in Zimbabwe, with due respect to the president of Zimbabwe, doesn't look good.
All right. Thank you very much for your time tonight. That was Advocate Thuli Madonsela from the Thuma Foundation.